Welcome back to Area DMG. I'm your host, Hope Wesley, the Mile High Mouth, and today we're going to take a look at the Nintendo Handheld Family of boxes. Or rather, some of it, mostly. Mainly, I'm missing my Game Boy and Game Boy Pocket and Virtual Boy box, and the box for the Game Boy Lite. Those are somewhere. I don't know where they are, so we're going to start with the Game Boy Color. What I'm going to go ahead and show you is, well, the box. I'm not going to open these up because they're just they're hollow right now. I already took the stuff out. But yeah, this is the Game Boy Color box. Portable fun in color. This is the Kiwi color. It actually launched with Atomic Purple and Grape and Atomic Purple. But yeah, look at it. Portable, color, fun. Game Boy, the world's most popular video game system, offers endless entertainment for players of all skill levels. The new compact Game Boy Color system travels anywhere. Enjoy the library of over 450 original games in enhanced color, or play new Game Boy Color games in brilliant color. To advertise this, they showed off Link's Awakening DX and Wario Land 2 Game Boy Color. Now what's kind of interesting is that Wario Land 2 has a Game Boy version and a Game Boy Color version. And once you've played the Game Boy Color version of Wario Land 2 in your Game Boy Color, you cannot play it in your original Game Boy without deleting your game save data. Yep. And that's that. There's that Nintendo seal of quality. And a couple other things about it. Yep. Play full color screen display. Play over 450 games. 2 AA batteries included. Back when Nintendo wanted to show off, to let people actually use power. They wanted you to be able to play your games. And here's a Game Boy Advance. I had a clear plastic Game Boy Advance, but I actually got that one closer to I got that before it launched in the United States because I was working with a company called Newbie at the time, and I needed it to work on developing and suggesting items for them to work on. They wanted to work on a Cobra version of their Game Boy Color Lite for the Game Boy Advance. I was kind of telling them they needed to make screen protectors and decals and carrying straps and screen cleaners, and they were like, that's dumb, nobody wants that. And lo and behold, they focused more on their lights, and the Game Boy Advance SP came out, and well, you invest so much money into these lights when there's so much money in easy product with screen protectors, of course you're gonna suffer. This particular one is the Arctic Game Boy Advance. Game Boy powers up. Game Boy Advance. Pick it up and feel the power of the most advanced handheld gaming system ever in an eye-popping portable package with a bigger screen, brighter colors, bolder graphics, and digitized stereo sound. It's a new generation. World's first 32-bit handheld. I think that's a little debatable. And you could daisy chain the Game Link cables for up to 4 player stuff. They're advertised in the back. F-Zero, Super Mario Advance, Super Mario Bros. 2, more Super Mario Advance, Super Mario Bros. 2, and then Mario Kart. But yeah, Super Circuit. And they were like, hey, you can connect this to your GameCube and use it on about 4 or 5 games. That's the Game Boy Advance, which was quickly replaced by the Game Boy Advance SP. This is the NES Classic Limited Edition, and this is the side of it. Nice, so nice. And then here's the back of it. Classic NES Limited Edition, the Game Boy Advance SP, all the power of the most advanced portable gaming system. It's not stupid, it's advanced. Now with a built-in side-lighted screen. We call them front-lit, but it's technically supposed to be side-lighted screen. Folding design, stereo sound, etc., etc. And this was also to commemorate the NES classics that were released. of which there were 8 in the United States. Legend of Zelda, The Legend of Zelda 2, wait, 8 or 9, there are more. Okay, where's Legend of Zelda 2 in here? I have to check. There are a bunch released in the United States. They're only advertising 8 of them, but there was the Legend of Zelda 2, Donkey Kong, Excite Bike, Super Mario Brothers, Bomberman, Xevious, Ice Climber, Pac-Man, and trying to remember what else there was. But yeah, I'll do a video on those at some point and show them off. But yeah, they were advertising those, and then they're advertising that, well, this one's backlit. I love this particular unit. It is so nice. I love the way it looks. It's fantastic. Only thing better than those in terms of a screen would be Gameboy Advance Sp. Well, this one right here is the pearl blue one. It's got a crush on the rose quartz one. Wah wah. Anyways, now with a brighter backlit screen. Yeah. And of course, on the back they're advertising Super Mario Advance, Super Mario Bros. 3, Mario Tennis Power Tour, and Pokemon Emerald version. These ones are great. And this was back when they were actually showing off, like, hey, we have better screen technology. Here's the sides of the box, front of the box, now with a brighter backlit screen, and we're gonna go put it in this pile right here. Now, before the end of, there was the DS, and that was released, but before that took over, we had the Gameboy Micro, which I'm showing you right here. This is a special 20th anniversary edition Gameboy Micro, and here's the side of it. It says special 20th anniversary. Doesn't come with a game, but it's pretty good. Oh, the side of that box is so bad. Ooh, yay! Practically unreadable text. Not just kidding. Let me see if we can bring that in. You know, smaller, sleeker, brighter. The Game Boy Micro has all the power to play your favorite Game Boy Advance games in an incredibly small size. Yeah, they really kind of pushed this one with its faceplates and such. Faceplates are pretty cool, but the Game Boy Micro was kind of killed a bit early because, well, the quote third pillar arrived, and that would be the Nintendo DS, which originally launched for like $200 and then it dropped, and they were like, ugh. Anyways, this is a Nintendo DS. This one came with Metroid Prime Hunters, the demo, first hunt, and here's the side of it. Experience a totally new way of playing games with a revolutionary touchscreen. Yay! Here's the games they advertised in the back. Metroid Prime Hunters, Super Mario 64 DS, Madden NFL, Rayman, Ridge Racer, The Herb Sim in the City, and Spider-Man 2. There's the VeriSign information coming soon, WarioWare Inc., Yoshi's Balloon Trip, Pokemon Dash, Asphalt Urban GT, Tiger Woods PGA Tour, Robots, and Ping Pals. I like Ping Pals because it's kind of useless, but it also had like a hidden Shantae theme, which was cool. This came with a silver Nintendo DS, Metroid Prime Hunters First Hunt demo, and an AC adapter. Totally new way to play video games. This one played Game Boy Advance games. This only played Game Boy Advance games. This would be the last ones released that could play the old Game Boy Color games. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on. The DS was actually a bit of a flop. People were like, man, the Sony PSP is killing the DS. At one point, the DS was a horrible flop. A horrible failure. Bad. It did badly. But along came the Nintendo Ds Lite. Originally released only in white. This is a, what do they call this one? Onyx. This is an onyx colored Nintendo Ds Lite. It was much sleeker, brighter screens. Like literally, it says, you know, the color screens are now brighter. Lower touchscreen provides a totally new way of playing, controlling, etc., etc. Play impressive 3D rendered Nintendo DS games. They actually did not advertise. Oh, I've always loved the little logo for the DS and DS Lite. That's also on the top of the system. Sleek! Here's the bottom of the system. But what's weird is that they stopped advertising the games for this. They do advertise the Wi-Fi stuff that they were trying to push. And, well, yeah, it's surprising they didn't advertise any games on the back of that. But the Nintendo DS Lite did much, much better because of 1. Nintendogs, 2. Brain training or brain age. And that's pretty much it. That alone revived it. And by the time actual Pokemon stuff showed up around it, it was hitting a good clip. Now, that was followed up with the Nintendo DSi, which included some free games from the Nintendo DSi shop. This one had an improved processor and a camera, a front-facing camera and a back-facing camera, and better online. The Nintendo DSi has a high-powered handheld video game system and a sleek folding design. That was pretty cool, and you could go to the eShop and you could download games for it. Again, they're not advertising any more games on the cover. They did advertise that you could go to this when you got it, you could go to the DSi shop and get free games for it. Like, I think it was like a brain age style thing, which is more of a demo than a game. And I think that was pretty much it. 2 brain training things. But yeah, that was the Nintendo DSi. In fact, around this time I actually made the Nintendo Handheld Family video, and then less than a few months after that, Nintendo announced and released this, the Nintendo Ds Xl. It includes 3 pre-installed titles: Brain Age Express Math, Brain Age Express Arts and Letters, and the Photo Clock. Includes a 93% larger screen, a sleek look to it. I mean, look at that. And when Nintendo put this out there, well, this one here is a bronze color. When Nintendo announced the Dsi Xl, I remember people being like, that's the most useless thing ever. Why is anybody going to go and get a Nintendo DS that is larger? That's just dumb. People don't want larger electronics they put in their pocket. That's ridiculous. And now we have phones doing the exact same thing. And Nintendo kind of thought, well, let's go ahead and put together a DSi that's specifically for an older set of customers who may have trouble. That's why they advertise in the back that the Nintendo DSi is a high-powered handheld video game system with an extra-large wide viewing angle screen and a full-size, easy-to-hold stylus. Pencil-sized stylus, wide viewing single angle screens. These have angles on them that put kind of like, well, if you've got a new 3DS XL or a new 3DS with a TN screen, the Dsi XL has better viewing angles than that. And the reason for this is because you could set the actual hinge into 3 positions. You could set it. They released this around the time that there were things like that cooking training game, a personal trainer cooking, and other items. They're aiming this at an older set and at people who are looking for more, quote, luxury style electronics. After that, things were quiet for a little bit, and then very quietly and quickly, Nintendo announced and released for $250 the Nintendo 3DS. It was a huge box for the DSi, so I'm going to put that box on the bottom. Actually move this one up here to this box pile. But yeah, the Nintendo 3DS. With a little disclaimer to tell you that kids under the age of 7 shouldn't use the 3D options. But yes, a new dimension in entertainment. I actually really like what they did. I was like, really? This is amazing. 3D will be so useful in the future. And there were a lot of games released for this that I really liked. Sorry, just getting a little choked up with emotion about it. Anyways, the Nintendo DS 3DS had a camera that took 3D pictures. It could play AAC files. Mii Maker, so it worked a little bit with like the Wii. AR games. Face Raiders. Activity log for some reason. Download play for some reason. And yeah. Pretty great little thing. They didn't actually advertise any actual games for this on the box. But I do like the telescoping stylus. That's pretty neat. Here's the side of that. It's got B and G Wi-Fi certified. Here's the bottom of it. Look, it's the Nintendo DS logo that they really need to bring back. I kind of hope that with the successor for the Nintendo 3DS, I hope the successor for the new Nintendo 3DS brings back this logo, and that you can like dock it similar to the Switch. I actually look at the Switch as being the successor to the Wii U, and not the successor to the 3DS. I kind of expect them to put out another dual screen handheld, unless there's some way that I can play 3DS titles on the Switch. We don't know yet. It's not the 12th when all will be revealed. But yeah, this is the Nintendo 3DS. Pretty good box. Since this is kind of the start of a new generation, I'm going to put that right there. A little bit after that, people were like, oh, so when's the XL version coming out? And here it was. 90% larger screens. This is the 3DS XL one. This one, let's see what the color is. This is blue-black. Oh, and this is aqua blue, azul agua, blue agua. Again, same features, and the same ones that they mentioned before on the bottom, including the internet browser. And then just, 90% larger screens. And they mention Street Pass and such. And they do not mention improved angles or whatnot. But yeah, that's the 3DS. Then, after I did a video with this one, there was also one more thing that came out, and that would be the Nintendo 2DS. This one is a crystal blue 2DS, and this one has a singular screen behind it and all the features of the 3DS, just not 3D and just slightly cheaper. They highlight the Nintendo eShop and the Miiverse. Oh, by the way, the original Nintendo 3DS did not launch with the eShop at all. No eShop, no virtual console, $250, and people were just like, this is ridiculous. That's why there was an ambassador program, because people bought the system to begin with without much incentive. And later on, think of the ambassador program as a rebate program. I feel the Nintendo 2DS is worth checking out because I really like the style of it. This actually felt more like an original Game Boy or whatnot. If you play through games like WarioWare Touch It, or WarioWare Shake, not Shake, the one Twisted, you'll see that there are some times there, especially on the DS one, where he's holding what looks like prototypes for the DS, including one that looks a little like the 2DS. I like the one that's got no buttons and you just move it. It's weird. But yeah, that was the 2DS. And then finally, we had the new Nintendo 3DS XL and the new Nintendo 3DS. Both announced at the same time, both released far separately in the United States. Now, the new Nintendo 3DS XL, when it was first announced, they mentioned that it had an IPS, which is in-plane switching screen, in comparison to a TN screen that the other ones had. The new screen is pretty cool, but it's not on all the units. The new Nintendo 3DS, a smaller one, has interchangeable faceplates and has only been released in bundles, or in this particular unit here in the United States, this is the Super Mario Black Edition. Here, let me bring that up. Yeah, and of course it comes with a black Nintendo plate with Mario. There's no actual game included, but they're also still not advertising the games. And then of course this new Nintendo 3DS. The big thing with these ones are they have much more horsepower than the original Nintendo 3DS in certain regards. Some of the specs didn't change, but these ones also have built-in Amiibo and NFC support. Super stable 3D, which is made possible by the improvement in screens on the new 3DS and the IPS screens on the new 3DS XL, and of course the C-Stick, and of course the extra buttons and other items. This is the one in this box had a IPS top screen and a TN bottom screen. All of the demo units have top IPS, bottom IPS, or top IPS, and I think I've seen one or two that had a bottom TN. But generally, if you're buying a new Nintendo 3DS XL, depending on who the manufacturer is of that time, they're supposed to have an IPS screen. If you don't get one with an IPS screen, don't worry. It doesn't hurt too much. It's just like if you never see an IPS screen in person, it kind of like, it can kind of hurt your perception of the TN screens. But if you don't ever see the IPS screens, you're fine. But yeah, here's the new Nintendo 3DS, and this is where we leave it at this point in time. The Switch, we're going to find out a little bit more about that in a bit, and that comes out in March. And then some type of successor to the Nintendo 3DS may show up sometime at E3, but we're not sure. Might not even show up till next year, depending on how the Switch does. But yeah, that is the Nintendo Handheld Family of boxes, mostly. Thank you for watching. What did you like? What particular systems were your favorites? What box design did you like best? Do you think Nintendo should go back to having screenshots of games on their game boxes? I think they should. What do you think about the change in size between these? I mean, you look at, like, let's just compare this real quick. If you look at the boxes for the Nintendo Dsi Xl and the Nintendo 3DS, the most recent box, these are insanely different in terms of size. What is your opinion on these? Let me know in those comments below. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit that share button if you haven't already. Share this on your social media on Facebook. Spam your friends. Woo! And hit that little bell so you'll be notified whenever we have a new video here on Area DMG. And until the next video comes out, you are now caught up.
I know a lot of people want to send blankets or water. Just send your cash.